Now I'm moving on to making the finial, and I start with this. It's about a 2" by 2" piece of cherry, and it had some inherent problems. I had some screw holes in it, so I really wasn't sure how this was going to work, but I thought I'd give it a shot. Actually, it's not cherry, it's maple, and you know, it's a really solid piece of wood. I thought it would hold up, but it didn't, as you'll see. So I start out using a traditional roughing gouge, and this wood was very hard. It also had some resin on it, and it just wasn't cooperating. I ended up going back to using the round carbide bit, and it seemed to do a little bit better. But I think this piece of wood was just inherently ready to die, so it didn't work out in the end, but you'll see that. I sometimes use this diamond bit because it has such an extreme point, and let me tell you, it's really sharp. But you can get into areas without catching a lot of wood. So sometimes you got to do that if you have a challenging piece of wood. And this was one of those pieces. But I was just trying to make this into a finial, but it was going along okay until it wasn't. And here I'm trying to see if I have enough width to attach this base piece for the lid onto this maple. And you can see there's a slit in this maple, which is part of the problem with this piece. As I was attempting to mill this down into a very fine, thin point, it just kept breaking off and chipping out and just falling apart. And you know what? It makes you appreciate the kind of finials that Cindy Drozda makes. And I don't know if she's still doing it, but they're difficult to make. Long, thin, toothpick width, diameter work. Just amazing. And that was the last break and the end of it. I got a new chunk. This is either ebony, Madagascar ebony, or sapelli. I don't remember. I have a lot of pieces of exotic wood, and I just can't remember all the species that I have. This piece of wood was far more amenable, and I was able to make a decent finial out of this. Granted, it's not like Cindy Drozda's, but I've been thinking about that and taking these things back and forth to shows. Not so easy. These things get broken very, very quickly, and they just take too long, they're too hard. I don't want to invest that time and energy in something that I'm pretty certain would get broke. So they still turn out cool. It's just they're not, I'm never going to be Cindy Drozda. She's one of a kind. Now that I've got the finial shaped, sanded, and I put a coat of finish on it, I can part it from the original base that is, I guess it's a tenon that's in the chuck itself, and I'm making this to fit with inside the little cap that I made earlier out of cedar. I have no idea what the anatomy is called for that little cap that will sit right inside of the vessel and also receive, which is what I'm milling out now, the finial that I made. But that's his process. So I mill it, shape it, test out the finial to see if it fits. I sand it, went through all the grits, and then I finish it. And there's the final piece. You can see it's made of cedar on the bottom, and the little cap that's part of the lid is part of the cedar also, and the finial on top is made of an imported mahogany. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for watching.